Alright, hi. This is going to be a quick tutorial for how to find an offset and a formula that works for you in order to hit fire red leaf green starter manip. I originally thought I had something that worked for everyone, but it looks like this is something that's just going to differ person to person. So I'm going to go through step by step how I found what works for me, and by copying this same method, you should be able to find what numbers work for you. So we're going to launch into the game. One thing you definitely want to do is, if you haven't already, create a save file. The settings shouldn't matter. I literally just started a new game and did save. I use these settings. Nothing here should really matter all that much for Squirtle Manip. I figured I should show you. And now we're gonna go into it. So the one rule that we want to keep in our heads the whole time is that because the Switch acts as if the wireless adapter is always in, that's going to double the speed at which overworld RNG is processed. So whenever we want to make adjustments, we're going to have to do usually divided by 2, just to account for the frames that are doubling. Also, if you haven't seen already, I have Starter Manip program open and I have flow timer open, and I've set flow timer to the 60 FPS setting. We're gonna name our character and start flow timer at the same time. So 3, 2, 1. And we're going to go through and just do the manip as normal. You'll see my min frame and my max frame are pretty high, and that's just to make sure I can do as many bag manips as I feel comfortable doing. Plus 37218. Going to go here. The first thing we're going to do is just the obvious thing, which is we're going to take that frame number 14276 and we're going to divide by 2. So for that we get the number 7138, and I'm just going to type that number in flow timer. There's still plenty of time for me to hit this manip, so no need to be rushed in doing all of this. I'm going to track the NPC. That's 1, 2. Move twice. You saw me do 2 bags outside, and I'm going to end up doing 5 bags inside. That's just so that way I don't have to worry about accidentally messing up a turn frame in a movement, but you really only need 3 bags inside. If I only did 3 bags inside versus 5, this would be minus 32. But instead it was minus 44. Nicknaming doesn't matter. Okay, and then we're gonna look at the Squirtle that we got. And wouldn't you know it, it's not it. I'll look around. This shouldn't be a Squirtle that's anywhere near the one that you were aiming for. Like, I don't have any successes that are ready. And I have this one that's ready, but there's just no way that's actually it. Got 11, 12, 11, 13, 8. Well, okay. That's unusual. It usually won't match like that. I'm nearly positive this is a Squirtle that is not that one, but normally on your first attempt you're not going to be anywhere near where you were trying to hit. So we're gonna note our target frame, which was 142 Celsius. And then we're gonna write down our level 5 stats. 20, 12. So what you'll want to do from here is we need to figure out which Squirtle is the one that we actually hit. So to do that, we're going to need to go to File and go to IV Predictor. It's going to bring up... Ooh, it doesn't look like it's actually being captured. Let me fix that. I'm just going to make it big for now. So when you click on IV Predictor, this is the thing that pops up. And we're going to use this part of the Startup Minute program to find the Squirtle that we need. So we're going to type in Squirtle here. We're going to switch the nature to Sassy. And then we're going to type in trainer ID. So that's 317. Your min frame and max frame for the search, it's usually not going to be anywhere more than anywhere from 300 to 500 off of what you were aiming for in either direction. But just for this example, I'm just going to put what our actual search frame was, what our actual frame search was, which was this, and then I'm going to search. And this is normally what you'll see. This is a ton of different Squirtles that are sassy, that could have gotten the stats. Well, actually, I didn't even get the stats. I should have done that. Okay. 20, 11, 12, 13, 8. Now we're going to run the search again. Okay. So now we only get 2 results. You may get more than this. It could be significantly more than this, honestly. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to dwindle it down so you know exactly which Squirtle that you hit. Here, these ones are the only ones that match that are going to have these level 5 stats. I don't know if they're actually going to be any different when it gets to the level 6 stats. But one of the things you could do is you can take your starter into the rival battle and try and win to level up. So that way you can get more stats for your Squirtle. That way you can more easily figure out which of these Squirtles is the one that you hit. Luckily the Squirrel actually has good attacks, so I'm not worried about tail whipping. Okay. And now I'm gonna get ready to record the level 6 stats. 22, 12, 14, 12. Okay. In this case, where we only got these 2, this would be pretty easy, relatively easy to check. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to write down for transfer numbers 140. If you want to get more stats, you can go into Route 1 and level up to level 7, record those stats. And you can keep leveling up basically to figure out your stats as you go. That way you can really kind of pin down exactly what Squirtle you have. But honestly right now this is more than enough. The first thing we can do is we can exit this program. So I'm going to exit right now. And I'm going to check that early stats that I saw right here. I'm going to check the level 6 stats. And here we actually already have a difference. So the level 6 stats for the 14257 Sassy should have been 22, 12, 13, 12, 15, and 9. Which is different from what we actually got on level up. Which means that for sure we know that this Squirtle is the one that we actually hit. So it was pretty lucky this time that I was able to dwindle down exactly the Squirtle that I got off of just one manip. But if it takes more, it takes more. No worries. The first time I did this, I think I had like 3 possible ones that it could have been. What I would do if, let's say, both of the level 6 stats matched for each of these Sassy Squirtles is I would mark the difference in the frames. So the target was 142.76. 142.76, and I'm gonna minus 142.57. So that's a difference of 19. Next to it, minus 17. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this. 140, 52. Actually, 142.76 minus 140.52. And here we get 224. What I would do if the level 6 stats were the same and I don't know which of these Squirtles that I actually hit, I would just do another manip attempt and see if I was any closer to the Squirtle that I had. We already know for a fact that it had to be this one because stats didn't match the level up stats here. But I'm going to do the next attempt as if I'm just don't know that and I'm going to try this. So if I thought I hit 19 frames early, what I want to do is I want to take that number 19 and I want to divide it by 2, and that would give me something like 5. So here, I'd probably just round that up to 10. And I would do now, instead of just the formula of having my target frame, So what I would do now is after I'm going to add 10 frames to my intended target number. So you'll see that on the next attempt. Like if this was once again my target frame, I would half it. And that number was 7138, and then I'd add 10 to it. So it'd be 7148. I'll do that on the next. And we're going to repeat this process. 21551. Okay, we're going to go for the 1321. So here I go 13245 divide by 2 equals 6,622, and I'm going to go plus 10 on it. So that was 3 movements by that guy. I'm going to put in my number. So from here, I have 6632.5. I'm just going to put in 66. I'm going to start counting up to 46 because I know I'm always going to put in 40. And then the plus 6 on it is just for that guy's movements outside. No need to name the Squirtle again. Now we're going to check again if I hit anything that was possibly near my target. So here I got careful. So I'm going to look through. Are there any carefuls? There's this careful. Doesn't match my level 5 stats. 10, 11, 9, 13, 10. It does not. So it definitely cannot be that careful. Nothing else early. Nothing late. Okay, that is what we expected. So now we'll just have to bring up the item predictor again. Figure out what exactly is the Squirtle that we hit. Okay. Once again, we're going to put in everything we know about our current Squirtle. Nature was careful. We're going to put in the stats we see, so that's 20, 10, 11, and like I said, it's not going to be anything more than plus 300, plus 500 from what we got. So this time I'm only going to go plus and minus 500 from our actual target. So here, target Squirtle was frame it was 13245. So we're going to go plus 500 minus 500 from that. And we're going to get 1, 3, no, 1, 2, 7, 5. As our min. 4, 5 as our max. And we just need to put in the trainer ID 21551. And here we only get 2 that pop up. So we know once again that our Squirtle is either this one or this one. These both have the same level 5 stats. So now, once again, we record. We record our stats. 5, 20, 10, 11, 9, 10. And we're gonna go and do that rival fight. Just to see if we can rule out either of these, like we were able to last time. We're just gonna go through. So we're gonna go and type in level 6 stats. We got 22, 11, 13, 14, 11. Once again, we're gonna write down 2 frames that it could be. There's 1 for 1 and 1 for 5. So now from here, we can do a couple of things. We can go again, keep leveling up, and try and determine it that way. But instead, what we're going to do is this. We're going to look at both of these have at least 24 HP IV, they at least have 7 attack IV, 2 defense, 0 or 21 special. At least 14 special defense, and at least 21 speed. So right now I'm going to do a search in the regular starter minute program for a careful Squirtle that meets at least these IV requirements in the frame range that I am searching for. So important ones I'm just gonna remember: 24 HP, 21 speed, 7 attack, and 14 special defense. And now we're gonna end all of this. Careful. We know it's at least 24 HP IV. I already forgot how much it could have possibly been. I know it had to be at least 6. Speed was at least 21. Honestly, nothing else. Our frame range isn't going to be that big. Just up to 45. 5. Only looking at carefuls on this trainer ID. And these are the ones that we get. So now I'm going to look at the level 6 stats on this one, see if it matches fully. And here we see we do not have a match. 22, 11, 12, but instead we actually have 13. And we got 9 special attack for this one, when we believe we got 10. And also this one's showing 15 for special defense, and we recorded 14. If I go here and I check the level 6 stats, we get exactly what the level 6 stats were when I leveled up. So now I know for sure that 130.41 is the actual squirrel that I hit. So, what we do now is, since this one is the one that we hit, we're going to once again mark what exactly the difference was from our target frame. And that difference is 132.5 minus 130.41. We get a difference of 204. Okay. So what we're going to do is, once again, we're going to divide that by 2. And we get 102. And now we're going to add that to the number that we previously did. So above here, we did plus 10 as our number. Here I'm going to mark the difference. Is 204 frames early. I'm going to perform the operation again. 4 divided by 2, 102. And we're going to add the 10 that we added on previously. And we're going to get 112. So we're going to work from the number 112. I know that after I divide by 2 and add 112 to whatever I'm putting in for flow timer, I should be decently close to what it is I'm trying to hit. At least I should be within plus or minus 20 at this point. So now we're going to do that. Also, I should change this back to what the normal requires. And oh yeah. So now again, 3, 2, 1. Oh, 7, 6. Hang out by the door. Okay, we'll go for that one. Plenty of time. Okay, so I'm going to take that number. 1, 5, 2, 2. Divide that by 2. That is 7612. Now I'm going to add 112 to it. Make it 7724. That was 3 movements? I can't really remember if he went an extra space down or not for that. So the number that we put in was 7724. Don't need to nickname the Squirtle because we should be close. And we have hit Gentle. So now I'm going to look around nearby for a Squirtle that matches, and it looks like this one could match. 10, 10, 10, 13, 10. So, I'm pretty close. So now, what I'm going to do from here is... This is likely a match. I'll double check to see if there's any other generals late that match or early that match. And that is the only general that's in the general vicinity. This is the one before. And this is what we ended up heading, so that was 1, 2, 4 frames late. Okay. Since now at this point I am extremely close, instead of adjusting this formula, the divide by 2 and then add by a certain number, now I'm just going to adjust my offset. So since I was 4 frames late here, I need to hit a bit earlier, so I need to subtract from this offset, but we still need to follow the divide by 2 rule. So instead of adding 4 frames to the offset, I'm only going to add, or I'm only going to subtract 2. So I'm going to do a quick 1000 divided by 275, and what times that by 2? I get 33.48, so I'm just going to add 33 to 42 here, just keep it negative. So that should be 75, something like that. And now, on our next attempt, we should be extremely close to what we're targeting. So I'm going to go for it again. And I'm going to keep the same formula that I have, which is divide by 2 and then add 112. Also, I should note right now that because of this wireless adapter issue with the Switch, with the RNG speed moving by 2s, you're only ever going to end up hitting odd Squirtles, or odd numbers frame Squirtles, or even frame numbered Squirtles. So if your target is an even number and you end up hitting an odd number, it's too bad. That specific time you were trying to do the manip, you were only ever going to get an odd number Squirtle. So there is a bit of luck involved with this, but there's no real way to manage that. You just have to keep going until you are on the same parity during an attempt. But honestly, it really shouldn't be too much worse. Go again. 1, 2, 3. Here. Let's go for this one. 4,390. I'm gonna do that really quick. I'm gonna get 70. Add 12 to it. That gets me so. Let's see what the NPC does. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. So I'm gonna have to go to 6. Like I said before, I'm doing 5 bag manips in lab. That's just to give myself the max amount of leniency. But you only really need to do 3. And if you're doing 2 outside and 3 in the lab, you just do minus 28 instead of minus 40 as your base. I'll be honest, on that hit, it felt a little bit late, naturally, to my reaction. Well, let's see what I got. Got 19 HP, and relax. Okay. So, right here on our list, we can see a relaxed Squirtle with 19 HP, and do its stats match. 11, 13, 10, 12, 8. I think it is safe to assume that on this attempt, I likely hit 1 frame early. It was an odd number when I aimed for an even number. So what that likely means is I was on the wrong parity. I never had a chance to actually hit the Squirtle that I was aiming for, which is too bad. But I was incredibly close to what I was trying to hit. I don't know if 1 frame early is equivalent to being frame perfect if I was on the correct parity, or if 1 frame late is equivalent to meaning that I would have been frame perfect on the correct parity. Doesn't really matter too much. I do know, however, that now I'm hitting really close to where I'm aiming for. So likely this formula I have of divide by 2 plus 112, and then adjusting the offset to minus 75 from what originally worked for me, which was minus 42. This is likely a formula that is going to work for me from now on. If I did more Squirtle attempts from here, I am sure within not too long of a time, I would end up hitting the Squirtle I'm intending to hit. I don't want to make this video take forever, because this is honestly already way too long. But I just wanted to show everything that you would do in order to figure out what you would need to do to find your offsets for the Switch on Fire Red Leaf 3. I can confirm that this method works the same on Switch 2 as it would for the Switch 1. I recently tested what my usual numbers were for the Switch 1, and I literally got a frame perfect Squirtle on the first attempt. So there's no differences there. I've tried wired controllers, I've tried wireless controllers, and there's not really that much of a difference between them. But this is the method, again, that you would follow if you want to figure out how to manip a Squirtle on the Switch.